In this lesson, we will be factoring trinomials, and this is part 2 of factoring trinomials because in this video lesson, the a value is going to be greater than 1. Previously, you've learned how to factor these when the a was 1. So today is going to be a little bit more challenging, an additional step because a is greater than 1. All right, but let's take a look at some examples. Well, before we do that, though, let's talk about simplifying fractions because you're going to need to be able to simplify fractions today to get the final factors of the trinomial. But just as a quick reminder, if you have a fraction of 4 over 6, we simplify this fraction by dividing by 2. 2 is the largest number that will both go into 4 and 6. So 4 divided by 2 is 2, 6 divided by 2 is 3. Or if we have this improper fraction of 15 over 12, even though 12 does go into 15, 1 and 1/4 time, we're going to leave it as a fraction, but in simplified form. So we find that common factor of 3. The greatest common factor is 3. 3 goes into 15 5 times, and 3 goes into 12 4 times. So we could write that as 5/4 or 5 over 4, okay? That's just a quick review. You can also use your calculator, just punch in 4 divided by 6, and it will simplify that fraction for you. So in this example 1, we have 2x squared plus 11x plus 12. Remember that we call this number in front of x squared. This coefficient is the a, the coefficient in front of x is b, and this constant is the c, okay? So to factor this, we're going to continue to use our little strategy to help us, the little x game, okay? But we're going to add to that today. But remember, what goes at the top is the b, and what we put down at the bottom is the a times c. Okay, now you may see these two reversed in different lessons or video lessons, but it doesn't matter. We're trying to find the multiples of a times c that can add together to get b, all right? So again, in this specific example, what goes at the top of our x board or our x game or x puzzle is 11, okay? What goes down here at the bottom is a times c, so 2 times 12, and 2 times 12 is 24. So at this point, we're looking for the factors of 24 that can add together to equal 11. So what numbers multiply together to get 24 and add to get 11? So let's start by finding the factors of 24. So let's see, we have 1 times 24, 2 times 12, 3 times 8, and 4 times 6, okay? Well, if you're looking for the factors that can add to 11, it's going to be 3 and 8. All right, again, we'll be using 3 and 8. So I'm going to put my 3 here and my 8 here, but I'm going to draw a line under this one. So it's kind of like it becomes the star method. And I draw that line because I'm going to be creating fractions for each one of these. And the denominator is going to be the number, is always going to be the a value, okay, the number in front of x squared, or the coefficient, which is 2. So for in this one, we're going to put a 2 underneath both of these, okay? Now we have fractions that we need to simplify. Now, our first one, 3 over 2, that's already simplified, okay? 2 does go into 3, but as far as simplifying the numerator and the denominator, 3 over 2. So that means this one's finished, and what we do is we put the x with the bottom number, okay? We call this bottoms up. So when we write our binomial factor, it's going to be 2x, and this is positive 3, so plus 3. 2x plus 3. So over here we have 2x plus 3. 2x plus 3. Now in this one, 8 over 2, or 8 divided by 2. Well, that simplifies to 4, or we could say 4 over 1. So I'm going to rewrite that as 4 over 1x. Now, you don't really need to write the 1, all right? So we could just say 4 over x. All right, 4 over x. But basically, this part goes away. So our other term is going to be 1x plus 4, or x plus 4. So our other binomial is x plus 4. So now we have our answer. These are the factors of this trinomial. And if you worked this out using the distributive property that you've learned with binomial times a binomial, this is what you're going to get. Okay, let's take a look at another one. Okay, so in this example 2, we have 6x squared plus 13x minus 5. Again, we have this trinomial or this quadratic expression that we need to factor, so we're going to use the x puzzle or the x game to help us solve it. Remember, at the top up here we're going to put the b value, and down here we're going to put a times c. Now, you may see that reversed in other lessons. It doesn't really matter. We have to find the multiples of whatever the product of 6 and negative 5 is that can add up to the b value 13. So we're going to put the 13 here, and we're going to put negative 30 here because 6 times negative 5 is negative 30. Now, the factors of negative 30 that add up to 13, if we were to work those out really fast, we have 1 times 30, 2 times 15, 3 times 10, and 5 times 6. Now, the ones we're going to use that we can make equal to 30, remember, this is a negative, so one of these has to be a negative, so it's like a subtraction problem, and we'll do 15 minus 2. So we're going to be using this one here. I'm going to use positive 15 minus 2. But because the a value is greater than 1, this is a 6, we're going to add this extra step. We're going to draw this line under here and turn these into fractions using a denominator of the a value, which is 6. So I'm going to put a 6 under here and here. Now, both of these fractions need to be simplified. If you need help with that, you can use your calculators that we have in class, 15 divided by 6, and it will simplify the fraction for you. And that's going to simplify to a fraction of 5 over 2. So 5 over 2. And remember that the x goes with the denominator here, the bottom number. All right, so we mark this one out. So we can mark this side out. Now, over here on this one, we have a negative 2 over 6. That needs to be simplified as well. 2 over 6 have a 2 in common. That's going to simplify to 1/3. So that's negative 1 over 3. And remember that the x goes with the bottom term. All right. And then when we write our binomials using this strategy of setting up these fractions, we write it from the bottom up. So 2x plus 5 and 3x minus 1 is going to be our factors, our binomial factors of this quadratic. 2x plus 5 and 3x minus 1. Okay, that is a look at factoring trinomials or factoring these quadratic functions, finding the binomial factors.